What if the very first language ever spoken has been lost forever, and we'll never know what it sounded like? It's a fascinating question that has puzzled scientists, historians, and linguists for centuries. Every day, billions of people communicate using thousands of different languages. But if we could travel back tens of thousands of years, what would we hear? What was the first language on Earth? The surprising answer is, no one knows. Unlike bones or ancient tools, spoken language doesn't leave fossils. Our ancestors began speaking long before they invented writing, which means the earliest conversations disappeared without leaving a direct record. Most scientists believe that modern humans developed complex language sometime between 50,000 and 150,000 years ago. By then, humans were already living in Africa and beginning to spread across the world. As small groups migrated to different regions, their ways of speaking slowly changed over thousands of generations. Imagine playing a game of telephone for 10,000 years. Tiny differences in pronunciation, new words, and changing grammar would eventually create completely different languages. That's exactly how languages evolve. The oldest written language we know isn't necessarily the first spoken language. Some of the earliest written records come from ancient Sumer, in Mesopotamia, around 5,000 years ago. The Sumerians developed one of the world's first writing systems, called cuneiform, by pressing symbols into clay tablets. Ancient Egyptian writing appeared around the same time, followed by other early scripts in China and the Indus Valley. But humans had almost certainly been speaking for tens of thousands of years before anyone thought of writing words down. Some researchers have wondered whether all modern languages came from a single original language. This idea is called the proto-human language hypothesis. According to this theory, every language spoken today, from English and Arabic to Chinese and Swahili, could trace its roots back to one ancient tongue spoken by our earliest ancestors. It's an intriguing possibility, but there's no way to prove it. Languages change so much over time that after thousands of years, most similarities disappear. Even languages that share common ancestors, like English, German, and Dutch, sound very different today. Now imagine comparing languages separated by 100,000 years. The evidence simply doesn't survive. Scientists use a field called historical linguistics to reconstruct ancient languages by comparing related ones. For example, they have successfully reconstructed Proto-Indo-European, the ancestor of hundreds of modern languages across Europe and parts of Asia. Although no written records of Proto-Indo-European exist, researchers have identified many of its probable words by studying patterns shared among its descendants. But this method only works for relatively recent language families. Go back far enough, and the trail disappears. Some experts even believe that language may not have appeared all at once. Instead, it could have evolved gradually through gestures, facial expressions, simple sounds, and eventually full sentences as human brains became more advanced. In other words, there may never have been a single first language. Instead, language itself may have slowly emerged over thousands of generations. What we do know is that language changed humanity forever. It allowed people to share ideas, pass down knowledge, tell stories, plan hunts, build civilizations, and eventually create everything from poetry to science. Without language, human history would look completely different. So, what was the first language on Earth? The truth is, we'll probably never know. But every language spoken today carries a tiny piece of that incredible journey, a journey that began when our ancestors first discovered the power of speaking to one another. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves history and fascinating mysteries. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.